capital markets lawyer, the fundamental question is risk. And it's the identification, calibration, and disclosure of risk that is important. Industry knowledge is critical, but it is not the only thing. One needs to be aware of geographical issues, regulatory issues, environmental, intellectual property, employment issues. Risk really isn't generic. It's specific, it's precise, and it's kind of personal. It really is about focusing on what the risk is on a particular transaction that you're working on and making sure that you're describing that risk in a way that is right for that transaction rather than relying on previous precedent.
I'm often asked by clients, why should I hire a global capital markets practice if my deal is on the smaller side? Your exposure from a liability standpoint for a capital markets offering under the U.S. securities laws is the same, whether it's a large deal or small deal. And therefore, the level of diligence and care on any transaction has to be the same.
To be a leading firm in capital markets, one has to have an incredible strength in U.S. securities law. That isn't a bias to the US per se, but it is a fact that most large capital markets transactions are dependent on US securities expertise. If you look at the number of IPO transactions and the number of securitization financings before 2008 and after 2008, it is a completely different environment. And for a number of years, those markets were dead. However, as economies and countries recover, the need to access capital markets returns. For the practice itself, we have grown significantly in different regions, particularly in terms of Hong Kong and China itself, South America and other countries within Europe. We have now a breadth of coverage we couldn't have dreamt of probably 10 years ago.
Jones Day's geographic breadth in its capital markets practice offers a distinct advantage to clients. I can give you an example to illustrate this. We represent an investment bank in New York. They do deals all over the world, primarily in the United States, but they do transactions in Asia and Europe. On one Friday night, we got a call from them that they were to execute a transaction in Australia by Monday for a client. This is a brand new transaction for us. 15 minutes later, I was able to get the right people in our Sydney office on the phone, working all weekend with the investment bank, and by Monday, we were able to execute on the deal. It's the integrated model of our firm, our teamwork approach, and our offices that work together in a very seamless way.